Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new NVIDIA daily update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over NVIDIA. Let's talk about what is happening to the king. Is the king finally waking up from his slumber, or is this a bull trap? I'll give you my thoughts. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice and I'm not a financial advisor. And of course, if you enjoy my technical analysis, thoughts on the charts, etc. Well, again, guys, I do share my thoughts with my members every single day as the market's open and trading. So definitely check that out. The link is down below for just $3 a month. Includes all my Tesla updates, broader market updates, options flow, different time frame analysis, etc. For just $3 a month. $5 includes NVIDIA, $7 includes the whole package where you get access to all my tier 3 posts, every other stock in the market that there's something potentially worth sharing, and of course access to my private Discord where I share updates with members every single Sunday, from chart requests that they request again every Sunday. And we have a tier 3 chat room where again we have members chatting, day trading, sharing thoughts, opinions, etc., ideas, trades. So again, we'd love to have you there. Check it out. But jumping into NVIDIA, right? What is this stock up to on a nice 2.22% day, closing at just above 186? Finally waking up and finally getting that nice little gap up above, holding pretty nicely. And you can see turning 183 roughly, which is pretty much 2 days low, 183.5, into support and bouncing off of that. This is exactly what I was wanting to see. And so far, so good. Now, it doesn't mean this is all, we're all rosy and we're going to, I don't know, 210 from here. There's still a overall concern, but regardless, I do see NVIDIA back into strength mode. Now, the question to me now is not necessarily is the strength back or not. To me, the question is more of just how strong is it, right? Because there's two options that I see right now. I'll go over both of them that I envision for NVIDIA. One of them is, honestly, one of them is essentially a dead cat, and one of them is, well, just a bullish bounce higher. So the way I look at NVIDIA is this. Let me remove these Fibonacci's for now. We were making higher high, higher, or lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, right? And this lower low is the problem. This is where I'm having issues with the chart. Overall, I'll explain what I mean. But this is the lower low that I'm having issues because again, we went from this, and now are we making a lower high? My main concern is this, right? Yeah, is this a lower high being developed here, right? Into another potential lower low. That is my concern. The way I look at it is this. Because we made this lower low, I have to, at the very least, entertain the idea that this is a dead cat bounce. And the way I do that is by, well, again, Fibonacci from that swing high to this swing low clearly, right? Because we broke the recent highs here, which is good. But the overall structure, I have to entertain the idea this might be a potential dead cat bounce, right? And NVIDIA loves the green Fibonacci. So the point I'm trying to make, and this is what I was telling my members about this morning when it was around like 184, I think, or something. Regardless of which path we take, I see short-term strength. Again, it just to me right now means, or a question of, is the short-term strength a dead cat or actual strength to about 200 or higher? That is the main kind of $1 million question here. So the only way to understand and the only way to really entertain this and, I guess play this, if you will, at least from my perspective, this rally up here, the first level I'm looking at is about 188.5. We got pretty close to it today, but 188.5 is that first level I'm looking at, which is that 618 Fibonacci. But honestly, this stock really likes the green Fibonacci. So it really wouldn't shock me, regardless of the path we're taking overall, dead cat or just actual bullish bounce. I wouldn't be surprised to see these green Fibonacci's tested sometime next week, potentially even, right? Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. 191, 192, around there somewhere, right? And that's where we start getting more interesting. If we come up here, and maybe get a small rejection, but then ultimately we don't break above this, and especially we lose this trend line again, especially we lose below 183 again, then this is just a dead cat and we go down for a potential lower low, right? That's what I would essentially foresee, which could on that point create a potentially pretty large bull flag. There's still overall even larger time frame potential bullishness, but kind of on the more medium-term time frame could potentially give us, get us, a dead cat into a lower low. That is a possibility, and this could just be a lower high being set because again, like I said, right, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, bull flag, high, right? That is that potential. The only way for me to start going from this, short-term bullishness to potentially now also medium-term bullishness as well, as opposed to short-term bullishness into medium-term potential bearishness, is breaking the green Fibonacci's, right? These green fibs have to snap. The best example I can use is Tesla, right? Look at the Tesla weekly. If you follow my Tesla videos, I've been talking about these green Fibonacci's on Tesla for quite a while now. And you can see in the weekly Tesla, same idea, right? Bounced up to these green Fibonacci's, but it's just constantly getting rejected, right? It's not having any strong confirmations and closures above these green fibs in pretty much the low 440s. Kind of the same idea I'm talking about here, right? Where again, was this just a massive dead cat? We honestly just don't know yet until Tesla closes above. If it does, that's obviously a very, very good sign. Think of it in the same kind of idea, just obviously substantially smaller scale, but same purpose behind it, where again, we don't for sure know if this is going to play out as a dead cat as of right now, because it's a lower low into a potential lower high. I have to entertain that idea just from a risk type perspective, right? But if we can break above these green Fibonacci's, if NVIDIA can come up, maybe you get a small rejection, come back, retest, support down here again, and then head higher and break above, that's a great sign, especially if we break above these highs at 195, right? Those would be positive signs. Even just breaking the green fibs and closing daily candles nicely above them already would be a very positive development in my opinion. So honestly, essentially, if you want to make it extra safe, 193, 195. Watch for those levels, guys. That is going to be the level to really, really snap to see higher. But again, I have to entertain the potential idea of this being a dead cat. It is what it is. I know people hate that word. People always get upset when I say dead cats, dead cat this, dead cat that, but I have to entertain it. It is what it is, right? It kind of like when this one was a dead cat, right? Same idea here. I can't remember how this one played out. I think it was like this. Yeah, it was like this. Something like, no. I think it was something like this. Yeah, it was something like this, where same idea. Like eliminate all these candles here and only look at here. Only look at up into here, right? Up into like right around here. Even this rank candle, ignore that. We're only looking at this. Massive move up, higher highs, higher low, right? Higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low. We snap this low down here, lower low, lower high. And you can see we did go higher. We did go higher, a little bit higher over the green Fibonacci's, but we never actually closed convincingly above them, right? We're constantly, kind of like the Tesla weekly chart I showed you. And I was sharing this as it was happening. I'm not just looking back at it and be like, hey, go back to these videos. This was what day was this? This is late August. Go back to those videos. I was talking about this exact same thing, and then look what happened after. I'm not saying this is for sure going to happen here as well, but it's just from a risk/reward type perspective, you have to look at both sides of the coin. Same idea. We made that fresh lower low here, and then we had that rally, nice, beautiful rally into those green Fibonacci's. Everyone got very bullish up here, just for it to ultimately be, well, a lower high overall being set. And we never got strong, confident kind of closure above those green fibs up here, which was the massive kind of, problem. And the rejection in earnings sent us down pretty aggressively. So that's just kind of how I'm just trying to illustrate the point I'm trying to make. And this could be something similar, absolutely, right? And we made a lower low. We could be setting up something similar. But again, despite that lower low, what did the stock actually do? Well, it still ended up essentially making a very large kind of bullish wedge here. And we ended up going meaningfully higher, which, I would view something similar like that if this ends up being a dead cat. And we do make that lower low and essentially follow pretty much the exact same playbook that we saw right there. I would still see it as a potentially kind of bullish flag, wedge, whatever pattern setting up, and we go higher from there regardless. But, that's kind of that pathway that is a very real possibility moving forward. But again, regardless of the pathway, regardless of how we actually play it out, maybe we break above it, maybe we don't, I still see higher for NVIDIA. And honestly, again, with how much this stock loves these green Fibonacci's, I really wouldn't be surprised to see about 192 tested probably sometime next week. It did the exact same thing here. Same idea. Massive chop, massive chop, massive chop, bam, massive drop, lower low, broke these lows down here, lower low, rallied into here, and guess where this is right here. If I draw the Fibonacci's right here from this swing high to this swing low, take a guess what this was here. Let's take a peek. Let's take a peek. What was this? What was this here? Take a peek. Oh, look at that. Right into those green Fibonacci's again. The stock loves these green fibs, guys. I'm telling you, it's just, I've seen this happen so many times with the stock. It's crazy how much the stock loves these green Fibonacci's over and 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 over. So that's kind of something that, it's very much worth watching, right? And look at that beautiful stuff, right? This rally movement to the downside, also the green Fibonacci's. I'm telling you, this stock loves the green fibs. I don't know what it is about the stock, man. This stock just has a fetish for these green fibs, man. I don't know what it is, but just something worth watching and being at very least mindful of. I understand people are, very bullish. People want to see the stock in the 200s. Believe me, I would love it too. I'm actually in the position. I actually entered today off of this breakout as it came down to retest closer to 183. I'm actually in NVIDIA now. I'm in a trade. But, it's just, I would love it to go to over 200. I'll make more money. Fantastic for me. But, again, just from someone that's trying to, look at both sides of the coin and understand proper risk management, proper structure, etc., we can't fully ignore this potential possibility. So worth monitoring and worth understanding and watching. Nice higher low in the MACD. So I do still expect higher. I do expect early next week, or at least sometime next week, to still, see higher. Usually what happens with NVIDIA, honestly, once all these other stocks report, because NVIDIA reports usually like a week or two after everyone else, you can see down here. Usually what happens is all these guys report, like Microsoft reports, Meta reports, Google reports, and they all say something bullish about NVIDIA, like, oh my God, we need more chips. And then NVIDIA just spikes off of that usually, right? I've seen it happen so many times. That's usually what happens in these earnings calls. Oh my God, we need more chips, more chips, more chips, more chips. And then NVIDIA goes up because demand higher, blah, blah, blah. That's usually how these things go. So, that could be what brings that catalyst in NVIDIA up to 192. Let's see. But that's kind of how I see it moving forward, guys. Options flow very quickly. Let's take a quick peek. See what's happening here. Very nice bullish flow. 10 million bearish flow, but 43 million bullish flow. Very nice, consistent bullish flow on NVIDIA overall. The one thing that was a concern that I mentioned this morning to my members was this 1031 for next week, 172.5 put that came in 500K. So pretty aggressive and pretty out of the money. This is that sort of question mark. So the only way that would make me worried is if we just lose 183 again. If we lose and close below 183, that becomes a problem. But until that happens, I remain at the very least short-term bullish to 192, and then we have to reassess, of course. But all in all, thanks for watching, and I'll see you Monday. Peace.